All right, let's get rocking and rolling here, guys. Talking about a topic near and dear to my soul today. Probably a good reason why I was able to build my business, especially in the earlier days, and a great opportunity for businesses of all sizes to really improve overall performance and lead generation. And we're going to be talking more about the strategies around how to get more five-star reviews. And I've got some quick wins and some shiny objects to share with you today. So we'll get going here. How many of you guys feel that you've had to beg for reviews? How many of you guys feel like it's an uphill battle working with your client to get it? I know that without a strategy, it can very much feel this way. So if this is an afterthought for you, where we know we should get reviews, but we don't really have a good strategy in place, you're really putting yourself at a disadvantage, especially how the algorithms have changed and how Google now reviews it. And even any other marketing platforms these days are using trust signals from Google, right? So most contractors think that they may ask or beg their customers for reviews, all right? This belief leads to some awkward conversations and low response rates, all right? And one of the bigger problems that I see with this, and maybe you guys can relate, is that we wait till the end when the project's done to ask for a review, okay? This is one of the bigger mistakes. I ask for a review when I'm giving them the estimate, all right? So take that into thought for a second. I ask for the review while we're presenting our proposal to them, right? And it goes something like this. I want to plant my seeds early in the process. I want them to feel like doing the review is a part of the commitment of the contract, okay? Then when we go back to have the discussion later, it's not an awkward, like out of nowhere thing or something that they can do at another time. So we give a couple of reminders. So when we're closing a deal, we even use it as leverage or a position with them. Mrs. When I do a really great job for you, which I will, would you be willing to give us a review? Okay. If we're doing any sort of discounting or any sort of negotiation on our contracts, it's great to add that in as a part of the agreement or a part of the conditions of maybe a small discount. And you really got to think of, again, having people feel that they're actually committed to this versus something that they can do when they get the time. Okay. And we all know that reviews are really important, but 77% of customers say that they leave reviews only when service exceeds their expectations. Okay? So when service exceeds their expectations. So one of the other things that we see quite a bit, and it can definitely have some very painful repercussions of it, is when we start to chase reviews. How many of you guys, maybe you don't have to put your hand up or anything, but I'm sure there's a few people here that have got their brothers or sisters or somebody else to do some reviews for them, to add to their reviews, or maybe somebody that didn't quite possibly do work with them, okay? These are called fake reviews, and you are putting a very big risk on your business that way, okay? How many of you guys have read other people's reviews and knew immediately that they had fake reviews? They all sounded the same, okay? I want you to think the same as your clients. So does anybody here actually believe, that a company can have 500 to 600 five-star reviews without any bad reviews whatsoever? Is that possible?
Possible.
Is it?
Yes, it's possible.
Okay. Okay. I would say that they would be an extraordinary example in business. And most people, when they see that many positive five-star reviews, they're going to think that the account's fake. All right. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get 4, 4, 5, and 4, 9. I'm saying that a lot of times we want to make sure that our accounts look realistic, right? So I'm not saying go out and get bad reviews or anything like that, but pushing the five-star reviews like completely and then adding fake reviews or large fake reviews is not only going to get your account banned, all right, but no one believes it, right? So if we're adding 30, 40, 50 fake reviews in, they're very obvious to see. And you actually lose a lot of trust that way, right? Now we can actually talk about what's the real cost of a poor review strategy. Nope, hold on a second. Let me get everybody muted here.
Wait, there's actually.
All right. So we got to really talk about a poor lead or a poor review strategy. Low quality reviews, fewer leads, less trust. Okay, bad reviews, rush jobs, or poor follow-up. All right. Over focusing on the review distracts real service improvements. Again, a lot of times if we're forcing reviews or buying reviews from customers, that's going to reflect pretty poorly in the way that they exchange comments, especially if they weren't completely satisfied. 93% of homeowners use reviews to choose contractors. That's a pretty obvious statistic, but again, this is where we want to really think about in our offer, in our strategy, how we're uh, giving exceptional service, okay? How we're early introducing the opportunity to give a review, all right? We want our customers to actually feel like we deserve to get that review and that they're giving us real feedback that's going to reflect how the service is. But this is by no means an excuse to not improve your service. All right. So if you're just buying reviews, so for example, you're just offering cash to people to do reviews, okay, that's not a strategy. All right. So we want to shift our mindset first to service first and reviews follow. So focus on delivering and the wow experience for your customer. We should all have that inherently built into our service. And again, if we're not getting that wow effect from our customers, we need to really dig into how we can improve. All right. So reviews are the byproduct of great service, not the goal. So empower your team to own the customer experience. Again, when I'm talking about customer experience, I'm really referring to how we treat our customer, how we communicate with them, all right, from start to finish. Is there areas where your business could improve, right? Do we maybe have some project managers that can be retrained in how to offer wow service? Because a lot of times what you'll find is you could do a really great job for a customer, technically great job, you were on time, on schedule, but it's the little things that matter. Was the client contacted? Did they feel like you prioritized them? Little things. Were your guys friendly? Were they trained to actually talk to customers? Okay, so the littlest things can really put a bad taste in a customer's mouth on how it was to interact with your business. 80% of five-star reviews mention a specific positive experience. Okay, and we're going to talk about how we can create that positive experience, even if we've had a job where things didn't go exactly to as they were supposed to, and we all can't be perfect. It's not the expectation, but how we finish off and how we and the certain things that we do can really give somebody still that five-star service review. So we have a three-part system for more five-star reviews. First of all, we want to deliver consistent high-quality work. That's a given. That's a non-negotiable. All right. If your business is not able to do that, I would suggest that we start in that very first place. Again, no amount of talking or gimmicks or strategy is going to make up for poor delivery and poor service. We want to make the process easy and memorable for the customer. Okay, so again, how you interact, how you schedule, the communication that you keep. All right, a lot of this can be done through CRMs nowadays, but we want to really focus on a consistency in how we're delivering our service. Okay, and it goes beyond just doing the work, guys. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. It's beyond just delivering a high quality job. Okay, there has to be more emphasis in the client experience. And then last, we want to follow up at the right time without pressure. So again, like I had mentioned a little bit earlier, talking about this as a part of the original contract negotiation or agreement, emphasizing it allows you to bring it up and have it be a part of your follow-up as you get to the end of the job. Okay. So we also want to add some quick wins to today. I love quick wins for everyone that's on the call. So we have no excuses for not implementing some of these things. One of the greatest ways that we found is using before and after photos, okay, to remind the customer of the transformation. So again, I'm in the roofing market. We use Company Cam. We're able to just quickly create those before and afters, and we share that with the customer as a part of our closeout package. Okay. So when we're closing out, we're showing them, hey, this is the transformation. And they get very excited about it. All right. Most of the jobs we run drones on. Okay. We'll share that with them. Right. So we have a very good closeout with warranties and everything else. It's not just we're done and off we go. We offer a small thank you. Again, discount gift cards, things like that. Cookies. If you have a box of cookies that you want to share with your customer, these are great offerings. and they go a very long way. So when somebody has maybe not had the very best experience, and we're settling up at the end, and we've come with a small thank you gift and really been thoughtful of how we're going to close out the job, it can make up for a lot of transgressions, believe me. Okay, but it's got to be consistent. It's got to be something that you can deliver consistently. Okay, and we want to train our crew to mention the reviews casually, not forcefully. Okay, so again, we have many opportunities where a review can be suggested, right? Especially as we get wrapped up. Again, if you planted your seeds early, you can also bring it back up. So I want everyone here to think about how they can train their crew to mention the reviews casually. And again, reward your crews for that. We keep very close data on customer satisfaction. It's a super important metric, especially if you're using project managers. All right. One of the first places you start to see where there's problems is when your project manager is not getting reviews. So no one's saying anything yet. You're not getting negative reviews, but you're not getting reviews at all. This is something that you'll want to be very keen on and make sure that you're watching out for. Okay. Why reviews matter so much to contractors. Again, 93% of homeowners read reviews before hiring. 50%, 57% won't call if you have less than a 4-star. Now, again, how many people on the call here today can relate directly to that? When we're buying products or services, how often do we look at reviews and deciding which company we're going to do? I would say the majority of people look just right at the reviews to decide the top 3 companies they're going to invite out to their home for a quote. Okay, super important that it's there. If they are reading through the reviews, again, we want obviously real, genuine reviews. And again, if you offer a really good service and you have consistency, I promise that people will be repeating some of the things that you do, all right, the people that you have in those reviews. Okay.
Oh, can I step in,
So,
please?
yeah, absolutely.
Earlier today, I was on a different type of call with our CRM group. She was just saying, oh, if you guys think you've had a hard week, I've had a hard week. My roof is leaking nonstop, and we had a big snowstorm, and it turned into ice. And now she literally has buckets everywhere in her upper floor because they can't do
Right.
anything else other than wait for it to dry so they can figure out where the holes are. In that
Hmm.
conversation, I said, oh, I happen to know someone in your area who does metal roofing. Is that of interest to you? And I told her who you were, and she went and checked out your reviews and threw her phone number at me and said, please connect me with him. So, a testament to what you're saying, she literally said, I just checked out his reviews. Here's my number. Please get
Yeah.
me in touch with this guy.
And I certainly appreciate that. Now, I'll be the first one to tell you that, again, when I'm asking for a review, I want people to give honest feedback, right? So I know that might go against the grain, but I don't have a perfect 5-star, but I have a 4.5 and I have a 4.6, and every single review is real and it's earned, right? And again, when we ask for them, we want them to be honest. We know, again, in most situations, most cases, and if we've done our job, we're going to get in that 5-star to the 4.5. But again, there's always a chance that you're going to get a bad review. And if you did as many roofs as we did and you're going to have a problem here or there. But it's how you respond to these reviews and how you respond to your customer if there is a problem. So again, using your reviews. Where else can we use these reviews? And I want to go through that today because these are great marketing pieces that I think that a lot of companies miss the opportunity of using. So, for example, when you have a really great review and you're introducing yourself to a customer or a customer has contacted you, the first place you should be having these is in that introductory package that you're sharing with your customer, right? Instead of them having to go back and look for things, have it there right in front of them. Have it a place where they can see those reviews, and that starts to build trust early on. Like as soon as somebody clicks on an ad or anything else like that, they receive from us a capability statement, but basically allows them to look at the projects we've done and then review, the reviews that those customers specifically to those projects had to share. Okay. We do something else that's super important that I'm going to show to you guys today, and one of the bigger opportunities that get missed when someone does do a good review. All right. Was impressed with your service. Would it not be wise to maybe incentivize a referral at the same time? Right? Who's the most likely to give you a referral? People who didn't give you a review or people who did give you a review?
People that gave you the review.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So this is an opportunity again in your CRMs and stuff. You can set these up. Actually, I think Sue, I sent you a referral page as well. So when
You
someone gives
totally
us a
did.
referral, right, we have an incentive there for it. All right. And the reason for it is just good business, good math. Right. It generally costs me about $1,200 to $1,300 to generate a customer, a paying customer. If I can offer $500 and somebody is incentivized, what's the likelihood of them referring us to more and more? It's very high, especially if they were already fans of
Are you
ours.
saying I'm going to get a perk? Is that what you just said?
Yeah,
I'm going to get a
I
perk?
did. It's on the page I sent you. It's right there in black and white.
Fantastic.
And again, we want to take that opportunity to extend. So somebody that's giving you a review, we don't just ignore them and never contact them again, right? Those are people that you should be keeping on in your CRM and continuing to have at least a nurturing campaign for them. Again, reaching out at Christmas time, reaching out on certain holidays, because they're the most likely to refer you. All right. Provided that you remain, if they can remember you. So again, if you just get the review and then they never hear from you again, you're leaving a lot of opportunity on the table and a lot of other business that could be won. So over focusing on reviews. So contractors offered a discount for reviews, got flagged by Google. Now this is a big problem and most contractors don't realize it. All right. But if you get caught paying for reviews, all right. So if you get caught incentivizing a review specifically, okay, you will get flagged by Google and they'll remove you from the search results. How devastating do you think that would be to your business, where you're actually flagged and you're no longer showing up? Okay, so I don't recommend that we directly pay customers directly for reviews. Okay, that's over focusing. Again, can you give a marketing offer that would include using their home as a showcase, them providing you a testimonial review? Absolutely. Okay. But directly asking or paying for Google reviews goes against their community guidelines. And I've seen nasty things happen in this area where somebody is advertising even that they pay for reviews and they get flagged, right? And unfortunately, when they get flagged more and more now than ever, all right, there is no getting it reversed. Okay, your whole maps, everything is just removed, it's wiped, and you have to start all over again. Okay, so I do not recommend that you put it anywhere in your literature or anything like that that you are paying for a review. It should be something that a customer is willing to do voluntarily or as a part of an agreement, all right, where when they were satisfied, they would give you a review. Okay. So again, you notice the difference there. I'm not waiting till the end and then offering cash to pay for it. All right. I worked in an agreement with them earlier before we started that they would give us a testimonial or a marketing, it would be a part of our marketing. Okay. That is acceptable. You're able to do that as long as you're not specifically saying 5-star Google reviews. Okay. So be very careful with your wording and be very careful with how you position it. Okay, because I've seen many contractors suffer horrible experiences, have their entire accounts wiped and have to start all over again. And I don't wish that upon anyone, especially if you're doing advertising or anything like that. Okay, so we don't want to ever again incentivize fake or dishonest reviews. So do not buy reviews, whatever you may be told. There's lots of companies out there that are offering that. That is another quick fire way. And what they do with those, again, if you get caught doing that, is that they will throttle your account. All right. So those reviews won't show up or they'll get removed, but you also won't come up in any of the search rankings. So they will see you as dishonest. And that's not a very good position to be in with Google. And we all need to have a good position no matter which kind of business you are. So what's your review roadblocks? What's stopping some of you? And before we jump into some shiny objects here today, I want to hear from you guys. What's stopping some of you from getting more 5-star reviews? What's been a roadblock for you? And anybody feel free, just unmute yourself and you can jump in this conversation, or we can see it in the chat. Anybody been?
Process, and then the team not just saying doing it and get it done, but not having a particular process that makes anybody accountable.
Great. So a lot of those things can be done. And again, when we say process, I love that you're using that word. So that can be as far as an automation. All right. I'm going to show you some of those today, but just in general, again, how we close out our job, right? Do we have a closeout package that mentions the reviews and makes it easy for them to give it to you? How many of you guys are using like PR codes? No?
What is
So you
it?
can get a QR code
Oh,
with
QR
a,
code.
yeah,
Yeah.
QR codes. So you can have a QR code for your Google My Business thing that goes right on all of your invoices. It can be on your postcards, whatever you're going to use. But I want you to really think about that final interaction where you're asking for the review, the customer's satisfied. All right, what's that look like and what's that feel like? Okay, like again, sure, we can send out text messages, we can send out reminders and stuff like that. All right, but again, is that match your brand and your business? Is that the way you want to leave it with a customer? And how would they feel? So if we're just waiting till the end and then just sending out a text or an email, all right, you may get a few, all right, but is that maximizing the amount that you can get? No. I feel like it's still a very personal thing that needs to be thought through. And again, it's a matter of how you ask and how you close it out. That's going to really reflect on how your reviews come back. And like I said, another way, just doing the before and after photos so they can remember the transformation. You want to think about what seeds you're planting when they do write that review. Okay? Anybody else have any other things that are stopping them besides what was just shared? Requesting it in writing. Okay. So yeah, we'll address that in a minute or two. I'll show you how we can do that with, again, CRMs and how we can respond. Here's another thing that I want you guys to think about. How many of you guys respond to your reviews within 24 hours? Anybody? When someone
Yes.
gives you a review.
Always. Always.
Okay,
Every
excellent.
time.
Okay,
The AI
good,
does it.
good. Yeah, Shh. You're gonna give up my shiny objects. All right. So does anybody know why it's important to respond within 24 hours? Does anyone know the reason why, besides the obvious and having it be respectful with your customer? But is there another reason why you would?
They see the time and the date, and they see that you're paying attention.
Okay. So
Google knows you're active.
that's right. So now most people, again, and especially if you've been watching how Google's algorithms have been changing, everybody here in the home service place and construction in general, if you want to rank higher on Google, you can do two or three things that will do it, and anybody here can do them. Number one is respond to your reviews within 24 hours. Okay, that shows that you're active, you're engaged, and you're trustable. Okay, on top of getting a review. Second, post those reviews, post thank yous and post content on the Google My Business platform. Okay. Again, share your story, share your content, because right now
Wait,
what
it's like a
Google's
social
trying to do,
platform?
yeah, so most people don't realize this, but like
I
your
had no
Google My
idea.
Business, yeah, they're trying to, they're, they are a, they're no different than Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. Okay. In fact, they have the same content streams that they want you to post there for. So they're incentivizing that. People who are posting there 1 or 2 times a week are ranking far higher than, anybody else. So you're ramping up your Google Maps pack, okay? And this is super important. If you want organic leads, right? So when people search in your area that you come up number one of the easiest ways to do this is just be consistent with this, right? Responding to your reviews, getting 5-star reviews, and posting content. I've worked with some contractors that have gone over and beyond with this strategy, and they don't buy any leads, right? They don't have to invest in paid leads. They get enough from their Google local business. Okay. And again, as AI has evolved, it's more and more searching for these kind of things. So it's very much in your best interest to at least follow that strategy. Okay. A couple of resources for you guys if you're interested. A really good book on the referral engine, John Janet's. If you want to really get into the psychology of this and in terms of strategy, a lot of the information I'm sharing with you and a lot of my pre-stuff came from his book. Of course, we've had tons of strategy calls in our podcast. You can jump on that. There's a really decent blog that Service Titan did that I just caught as well. It's how to get reviews without asking. Again, I thought it was pretty clever, so feel free to grab that resource. All right. And again, as we want to, in every call that we're on, if you've spent this time with me, I want you guys to really think about how can I immediately take action on this? And even just taking one thing away, all right? Just deploying one thing this week, okay? The first one, add a personal touch to every job. So this could be a postcard, all right, with your QR code on it. It costs you nothing to print these off, okay? Maybe you develop a gift, okay? Maybe you want to send a box of cookies. Maybe you want to send something that, you know, again, depending on the size of your job, if you're doing $10, $15, $20,000 jobs, like the way you finish off your interaction with your customer is very important. All right, especially if we're going to be asking for the review. Okay, so think about that whole exchange. We want to send before and after photos. Very simple, isn't it? Especially if you guys have company cam. You know, just sending that to them as a part of your closeout with your warranties, that's going to get you a lot more appreciation and be a lot more willing to get it. So the other thing is, and I'm going to show you guys today, we can set up an automated review request. Okay, we can automate this. We can also automate our response to our reviews. Okay, so that every time it's getting responded to, and we want to respond to every review, good or bad. So again, if you have reviews even that are 1, 2 years old right now in your Google local business profile that you have not responded to, trust me, go and respond to those reviews right away. Okay, be it good or bad. Another point that I want to make to you guys is you do not start fights or start defending yourself in those reviews. Okay, I've seen that happen a lot. I don't recommend it. Okay, you don't want to have a public feud on your hands. All right, so if you have a bad review, you have to think very tastefully on how to not have it escalate and to also keep the neutral position. Okay. If anyone's interested as well, we have a resource folder for how to get bad reviews removed. Maria, maybe you can share that resource folder with the group here, if you don't mind. We'll throw that up for everyone to take advantage of. What happens if we get bad reviews, fake reviews, ones that bots have put in on your account? So everyone should be reviewing their reviews on the Google local business. And there is steps you can take to have some of them removed if you had fake ones or ones that were in violation. And if you have a customer that is forcefully putting a bad review and being vindictive with them, there's a strategy I share with how to get those removed or reversed as well. We'll share that resource. So again, and just wrapping up here before we show you some shiny objects, 5-star reviews equals more leads, higher prices, less competition. Okay, so like I said, there are a good number and group of people that only pick contractors based on their reviews. Okay, so the higher we can get these, the more we can work on it is one of the easiest ways to add valuation to your business. Okay, and we also get to stop competing on price and winning with our reputation. All right, now we can talk about some strategies here. So if you guys are using a CRM, if you wanted to use Contractor AI's CRM, again, we offer this to all of our clients. We set them up on it. A couple things that we get here is where AI is actually responding to the reviews, okay, and automating your requests. So again, depending on, you know, what you want to have set up, we have a really good automated request here. And then I'm going to show you just one more thing. You can see how it ties to your Google our GPV. Hey. So again, when you have a project management system like a JobTread or something like that, masquerading as a CRM, you lose a lot of benefits and features of it. So just wanted to show you guys as well. So when someone gives you a review, all right, you want to offer them an opportunity to be in your referral program as well. These make for the best customers. And not just them, with anyone. As I was sharing with Sue, we have our invite for $500 referral. Okay, this gets triggered immediately. Now, again, we run this to customers that didn't buy from us. We keep this as a part of our marketing strategy because there's a certain group of people that are very good at giving you referrals. And again, once you incentivize that and they've been rewarded once, they tend to be serial referrers, right? So we really made this a good strategy for us. And what's funny enough about it is a lot of people that use these are people that we didn't actually do business with. So again, if you want to really continue to incentivize it, and how it works is that they can click on it. So if they want to share it in their Facebook, they've given you a good review. They share that right into Facebook, their Google review and everything else. And then whoever clicks on it gets put into our pipeline. And if we close anybody from them sharing it in their social media, they receive the reward. Pretty simple, right? So that's an
Nice.
example of, again, how we add on to this, right? And again, think about automating some of your referrals and then nurturing those people who have reviewed you down the line. Because again, if you're not touching base with those customers, if you're not remaining in their orbit, you're giving up a ton of business, right? So we have people that have been referring us business and have given us clients for over a decade. All right. It all started with them giving us a review and being happy with their service. But because we stayed in touch, because we continue to promote things, we're still getting referrals a decade later. I have people who are referring us a decade later that we never actually did any work for them. It works both ways, right? Okay. So that was a bit of our shiny objects again in here in terms of what you can do. And now we'll take a little bit of time here, guys. We'll have some questions. I see one here. I have a 1 star from someone that I did not hire from Indeed. Yeah, you can get that 100% removed. That it violates the policies. So let me give you some resources right now.
I've reported it and it's still on there.
So
Years
you've
ago.
got to you got to go about it a certain way. And I'm going to give you, because they don't make it overly easy to do it, but I've got some SOPs here that everyone is welcome to take advantage of. We'll go through them really quick here. So this goes through the exact process you want to follow for having bad reviews removed. Okay. And again, depending on the situation, we've had it be used as blackmail against us before, where customers demanding unreasonable things and then threatens to leave a bad review. Actually, we had one about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I don't take too kindly to that, and I have a very clear response and a letter drafted that my lawyer will send out immediately. Again, you want to use this in only extreme cases, but if you're dealing with a lot of customers, you will find that there's a certain amount of them that will try and leverage that review or threaten a bad review. Once they do that, I do recommend that you treat fire with fire. So I've got a template in there for if you are going to have them, as soon as they have slandered your name or threatened to slander your name, or that's saying something that's dishonest or untrue, all right, I would take that very seriously. And there's a great way to stop them. Again, you can send out this letter template from your lawyer, and that usually gets it removed very quickly. Okay, everyone able to access that resource there?
Yep.
Okay. So there's some more good things in there for you guys. Any other questions when it comes to reviews, guys? Any other things that you are struggling with, or ideas that you have, or something that you do that I haven't mentioned that works well? Okay. All
And
right. We'll
ask the
keep this
question
one.
outside of it. Do you
Yeah,
recommend
absolutely.
like for project management software? What would you recommend? Who's got the
I
best
all day job tread. I wouldn't
job site?
recommend anything.
Even
Yeah.
for remodelers? Because Service Titan, they were great, but that's for like
100.
services.
That again, if you ever get around to booking a call, I'll show you. Like all the restorators and all of the remodelers use that again that we're working with.
Job
They
site,
use
okay.
job tread. And again, I'm biased towards it. I'll be honest with you. I use it in my own business. I have literally been through every project management system you can imagine out there. What I like about job tread and why I'm a big fan of it is at its core, it's the best example of what I call management accounting. Okay. So it's not trying to be, a CRM. It's a true management accounting software, right? And if we take a management accounting, cost accounting approach to running projects, I mean, that's exactly how, the top 2-3% of companies are operating. So it gives you an operating system that allows you to see your costs and make decisions based on costs and budgets and all the things that allow us to look into the future. That's my 2 cents on that. CRMs, again, I feel like a CRM does a completely different job, and it's very easy to confuse the two together, right? Having a system that does too many things, they don't end up doing anything really well. Now, for Service Titan and like Service Fusion, if you're service based, so if you're a electrician, a plumber, somebody that's service based doing service calls, commercial service stuff, like that's a better platform on that end. But if you're doing contract work, if you're doing home remodeling, things like that, roofing, larger contracts, I'm going to say things above 5,000, the JobTread's probably a better project management system overall.
Thank you for that. Hey, can you post a link in the chat for scheduling a call?
Yeah, Maria, can you post our link for us, please? Thank you, thank you.
I've been meaning to do that. I just don't want to waste your time when we get on that call.
It's not wasting my time. It's all good. All good. As long as you've taken some actions, I don't mind.
We've taken a lot of actions. I just need a customer.
Yeah,
That's why we did that call.
yeah. So Company Cam, yeah, Company Cam as well, guys. So anyone that's using Company Cam, you can request reviews through it as well, and it's not terrible, especially if if you don't have a full CRM in your back end. For now, like a Company Cam has got a pretty great way to request reviews to take advantage of that feature. All right. Did we get that link shared, Maria? Oh,
Yeah, 1 second.
okay. Anybody that's interested in having a call or strategy, I'll post my link here. All right, and we'll go for our first and last for any more questions, comments, anything you wanted to share, even if you want to throw it in the chat. And if not, then we'll wrap this up.
Nope, just want to say
Well,
thanks because we've used that service. We've used that SOP of yours because we had that unfortunate person who owed us
Right.
money and was mad at the money he owed us because he's just
Yep.
entitled. It was easy to follow. It was nice. It was effortless. It had all the steps. It's just sometimes you walk into these situations, you're like, WTF, what do I need to do? How do I handle this? It's just another thing. It's stressful. It's frustrating. And you feel like it's going to impact so many different things, and it can. But what I
It
found is
absolutely
going through
can.
the steps,
Yeah.
and just understanding, first of all, having this SOP made me realize that I'm super not alone in dealing with this.
Mm.
2, it just took this stress out of it. Like I was able to breathe because, okay, step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. So that was
Yep.
super helpful. So just as someone who's used this tool that you're offering right now, it's been helpful. I took a lot of the want to get sick feelings away from the anxiety is where I'm coming from. Sometimes you just want to work. You
Absolutely.
don't want to feel gross. You want to just work.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And again, guys, if you have in the past had somebody try and leverage you on that, I say hopefully it's rare, but we've had it happen. Just 2 weeks ago, I had it happen very similar to that. You've got to fight fire with fire in that situation, and you do have some legal ground to stand on. Most of the time, 100%, it doesn't go the distance once you take the right steps. Jobber program thoughts. Yeah, Jobber, we've got a number of electricians and plumbers and handyman services and stuff that are using Jobber. I think it's great if you're doing residential service and you haven't fully got to scale yet. So we're not dealing with 100 installers yet. A painter. Okay. So yeah, it is. Again, it does fit that. As you scale with it, the biggest problem that I see with Jobber, and we're supporters of Jobber if we're sponsored and we support their product. We've built them for clients. So I'm trying to be non-biased here. The bigger problem that you see with it is their modules. So you have to buy additional modules and it gets pretty expensive. And then the per user thing, it gets up there after a little bit. And that's been my only thing with them is their reporting, their dashboards, things like that, where they just don't have enough clarity. And then if you want to develop a really good proposal, I have difficulty with their system and really developing an actual proposal versus just an estimate. But it depends on what you're in. If you're in home services and you're getting call outs and stuff like that, it's not bad. As a painter, if you're doing proposals for customers, it doesn't give you that really a big advantage with a detailed good, better, best type of proposal. So there might be a better option on that end. So
Yeah,
job trades not bad for that too.
I actually have a question, Jay.
Sure.
From your experience, what would you say that it's the best moment to ask for a review where usually the team forgets to do that? And how would
Yeah,
you fix it?
100%. So it'd be the easiest time to ask for it is when you're picking up the invoice, right? Now, again, if you've done it well and you have it built in your sales process, what you want to do is be reminding them of the commitment they made when you closed the deal with them. So again, we like to do a good closeout. We have our closeout package. And again, those good, the before and after photos and stuff. So when we're closing it out, and then it's easy to bring up and be like, remember when we discussed if we do a really great job for you, be happy to share a review about with us. Oh yeah, absolutely. Great. And you have an iPad or you have whatever you need there, and just get them to do it right there on the spot for you.
And how do you hold your team accountable for whether they're doing that or not? How do you track that?
Checklist. So it's again, they have to answer, did they do it or not, right? So if they didn't do it and they lie to me or they lie to us, that's against our policies, right? So it's a checklist item that you're going to include. And then we always do follow-ups to that. So again, our internal admin, it's triggered off the CRM. So there's backup to it being done or not being done, but it's pretty rare that it's not. And we incentivize them getting reviews specifically. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay,
This is great. Thank you.
great. Appreciate everybody's time. And let's go get some reviews.